Now, with a huge Tour de Tucson event coming up this weekend, many people will be thinking about the cycling and pedestrian safety that goes along with it.
But it is something we should be thinking about year-round, including when it comes to our kids. And that is why Jessica Mitchell is here to tell us about a program geared towards just that. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So let's really kind of dive in and talk about why is pedestrian safety such an important issue?
Because most people don't realize that it's actually the 5th leading cause of injury-related deaths in kids 5 to 19 years old, with a greater rise in teenagers with distracted walking because they have their cell phones or their headphones in.
Well, that's exactly why we should be addressing this and exactly why we should maybe get some tips, because some people are thinking, okay, are we just saying be aware? But there's a lot of things that we should be thinking about.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want parents to realize that kids under 10 really shouldn't be even trying to cross the street by themselves. Developmentally, they just can't judge how fast a car is going. So we always ask parents to at least make sure that there's an adult with kids 10 and younger to walk across the street. Next, they need to know that they need to look left, look right, and look left again. That way they can make sure that traffic is clear, but also to keep an eye out while they're crossing, because you never know. And we want kids to make sure they're using crosswalks, obey the signals, stop at the stoplights. Don't just assume that drivers are going to stop for you. They need to make sure that they're stopped before they cross.
This is all very good advice. Now, I know when I tell our kids to put on their helmets before they go out, I always get the eye roll. But really kind of tell us, why is it so important that we are making sure everybody has a helmet on when they're riding?
Because it's actually the single most effective device that's going to help us keep our brains from being injured and from to reduce the risk of death when you're riding on a bicycle. I mean, it's the one thing that's going to make sure to keep you safe as long as you're wearing it properly, and properly is always the key word.
And I love that you're here, because you're right. You can buy the helmet, you can tell the kids throw it on, but we also need to make sure that it is fit properly and it's going to do its job. So what are some things we should be looking for?
So I brought a helmet with me to kind of give an idea. So the front of the helmet, you always want it to sit right above your eyebrows, to the point that when you look up, you can actually see the brim of the helmet. Next, these straps on the sides, they need to go around your ear, and that stops the forward and backward movement of the helmet on the head. And number 2, make sure it's nice and tight under the chin. I see a lot of kids who wear the helmets back on their heads. 1, it's not going to protect the front of their brain, which is right here. And 2, when they don't have it clipped on their head, if they do get hit by a car, the helmet's going to fly off and it's not going to do what it's meant to do. So whenever we look at properly fitting a helmet, it's right above the eyebrows, V's around the ears, and nice and tight under the chin.
So it's a good reminder for parents, even though the kids are saying, Mom, I've got it on and I'm heading out, maybe take that a few extra seconds just to take a look, make sure all the parts are where they're supposed to be.
Yes, ma'am.
And while we're talking about helmets, I want to kind of talk about other things that we might be wearing as well. Anything like a backpack or a purse or a bag or even clothing. What are some of the things that you recommend or maybe don't recommend?
Backpacks and bags aren't a big deal as long as they're tight against your body. That way they can't accidentally hit maybe a tire or something like that. And a lot of avid bicyclers already do this, but the pant leg on the side of the chain, they'll either tighten it down or roll it up. So that way there's that reduced risk of that pant leg getting into that chain, getting caught, and then it's going to, 1, cause you to crash, and 2, it's going to cause damage to you. And so you always want to look for that. With the younger kids, I don't think it's as important, but definitely the older kids, as they start to ride their bikes more, they definitely want to make sure that their pants aren't too baggy to work and get caught in that chain.
And do you have maybe some more tips just in general about riding a bike and safety tips for everyone?
Riding a bike, I think number 1 is you always want to ride with traffic. I don't like seeing bikes riding against traffic. You always want to make sure you follow those rules. You're just like a vehicle. You need to ride with traffic. You want to ride over to the side as best as possible. And again, use those crosswalks and obey those stop signs and stoplights.
I'm so glad you said the riding with traffic, because so many people, it's a misconception that you think you need to be riding in opposite directions so you can see oncoming traffic, but really it just kind of confuses everybody.
It does, and whenever we talk to kids about bike safety, we tell them this is your first vehicle. You now have major responsibilities, so you still have to see a bike as a vehicle, and you still have to follow those directional rules as a car does.
And I know we have a great program that TMC does that you guys are making sure the kids have the helmets and again, how to properly do it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have a program called Desert Kids Safety, and it's by appointment only, but we have the parents bring the kids in and they will get a properly fitted helmet, and the person that fits the helmets will make sure, 1, that the helmet fits properly, it's not too tight, not too loose, and we'll show the kids how they need to properly wear it and talk to the parents so the parents know too.
And like we've said, I mean, Tucson is the place where everybody's out riding their bikes. We have gorgeous weather. We have, such a cycling atmosphere here in Tucson. We just want to make sure everybody is safe. The whole family. I love seeing a whole family out riding together. So I want to thank you so much for coming here. And I'm going to tell people how they can get that appointment for that program. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Now, Desert Kids at TMC offers free bike helmets for anyone 18 years of age and younger. You just need to make this appointment. So you need to call 324-5604 for more information. Again, that phone number is 324-5604.